Hey everybody, I'm Sharpened Blade, and today I've got a video that I've been wanting to make for a while now. This is a video to kind of show you what goes through my brain when I'm picking out a new knife to buy. So I'll kind of explain the process and what I look for in a knife and what kind of scratches that itch for me now. This might get kind of rambly because there's no overall, there's a theme for the video, but I kind of just wrote down some ideas and then I'm just going to talk for a while. So I'm going to try to keep it a shorter video, try to get 10 minutes maybe at the most, because I don't want it to get too rambly, but I apologize if it does still get quite rambly. So, yeah, just thanks for watching. If you watch to the end, thank you, and if you don't, that's perfectly fine too. But see, I'm already starting to ramble, so let's just get into it. So at first I'm kind of just gonna go through what I look for in a knife, just going through the internet. So I'll pick, there's 3 sites that I go to most of the time, all the time actually. These ones, there's Integrity Knives in Canada, and then there's White Mountain Knives in the States, and then there's Southern Edge Knife Works in the States. Those are my 3 main ones. So what I'll do is I'll hit up all 3. So say I have X amount of dollars sitting in the bank, and I say, you know what, I want to get a new knife. So I'll hit up those 3 sites, and I'll just go through all the knives. I'll hit it usually newest to oldest. Sometimes I'll go lowest price to highest price, but most time I'll just go newest to oldest, and I'll just start flipping through. And what catches my eye the most would be the design of the knife. So before I get any further, I'll just I split things up into the materials, so the blade and the handle, the action, which also is kind of like the lock type, so that affects the action most times. Ergonomics, which is really hard to tell from a website. So sometimes you can kind of look at a knife handle and you say, okay, well, that doesn't look very comfortable, or you look at the size of the handle and you say, well, that's a little small, or that's a little big. But for the most part, you kind of have to look up reviews online for the general ergonomics of a knife. And then there's the value, materials versus price. And then there's the design. So for me, the design is the most important. I'll look at that. That's what catches my eye first. So if I don't like the way a knife looks, I'm probably not going to get it, unless there's there's a knife blowing up on the internet that it's got it's the most comfortable knife you've ever held, and it's got an amazing action. The values, you just can't beat it. Well, okay, so maybe I'll check that out in that case, but for the most part, I'll just stick to knives that I actually like the look of, which I'm sure everyone does. But anyways. So then on the website, I'll click on that knife, and because sometimes they don't always, well, most of the time they show the price before you click on it. So anyways, you look at the price, you say, okay, well, I don't mind that price. So then you click on the knife. Then you look through the details. You look what kind of blade steel we're talking about, the handle materials, and then you kind of judge from that, or I judge from that, what I want to spend on the knife. So if the knife is $100 and it's got 7CR13 on it and FRN handle material, that's going to be a hard pass. Unless I really, really, really like the design of it, that's going to be a hard pass. But not that I've ever run into a knife with those kind of materials at that kind of price, but I'm just giving an example. But yeah, so the value has to be the value is kind of subjective in a way, because sometimes people look for a good value knife, they want something cheap, for example, the QSP Penguin. I mean, that's a cheap knife with incredible value. I shouldn't say cheap. It's inexpensive because it's not cheap at all. It's extremely well made. The fit and finish is superb, and the action is fantastic. So, like, yes, like sometimes when you look at value knives, they're cheaper, but like this Mini Buster, it's an expensive knife, but for me, it's a great value because the action is absolutely mind-blowing. It's hard to come across in camera. Like, you really have to feel one of these in person to just to know how smooth it is. But like for me, this was a really good value, even though it was more expensive. So value can kind of be subjective, like ergonomics, but for the most part, for me, the materials have to equal the asking price, unless I really like the design. So at this point, I've looked at the knife. I like the way it looks. I'm happy with the price thus far. Materials are good, so I'll look at the. When I say materials are good, I just mean like the value is there for me to buy it. So, and then I look at the dimensions, because I have smaller knives as well, but I also there's a certain size that I like. So 4 inches is usually the smallest. I don't want to say that. What's a better way to put this? I like to hit the 4-inch mark on the knife handle, because that usually fits my hand the best. It can be more than 4 inches, 5 inches. I had some knives with 5-inch handles. Those are nice too, and I have some knives with like 3-inch handles. It all depends on the design of the knife and how it's made, how ergonomic it is. Like for instance, the squid, fail. It just fits the hand really nice. So even though it's a smaller handle, it still fits the hand. It's still comfortable. So for me, I like to hit that 4-inch mark. So I'll look through the specs on the knife and I say, okay, that's great. It's great design. The price is right, and it's got the right 3-inch knife blade, 4-inch handle. Perfect. I don't really care too much about the weight. I don't want something that's like crazy heavy, but I don't care about that ounce per inch malarkey. I don't care about that too much. That really doesn't bother me a whole lot. So everything's good. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe the pocket clip is horrible. So I'll look up at and then the overall ergonomics aren't there at all. So I'll look up reviews, and I'll get through it until I get to the ergonomics part, and then I'll really pay attention, because that's what I want to know. Ergonomics and then action as well. So if they say, oh, it's super comfortable, and they'll say like the action is really nice, super smooth, it's got great action, then I'll say, all right, all systems go, it's time to get this knife. So that's kind of what I look at. But there are some exceptions to the rules, of course. There are some knives that I've never even heard of before. I've never seen them, and I've never really done much research on them. They'll just pop up on the internet under like the new tab. Like I'll be on White Mountain Knives, and it'd be like new knives, and a lot of times it's like a Tucson knife or something, and it pops up, and I'm like, oh dang, that's really nice, and I'll just buy it, instant buy. No research, just instant buy. So sometimes I throw it all to the wind, and I just buy the knife that I want, no matter what, and hopefully I'll like it. But it's kind of a risky way to do it, but sometimes I just do it that way. So you might be asking, why are these knives on screen? Why do you have these knives here? And because you've mostly been showing us knives that aren't on the screen. But these are here just to kind of distract you from the fact that I'm not on camera. No, but these are kind of examples. So like when I was looking at the Deca, the Hogue Deca, I really liked these handle scales. They're different. It's the G-Carda, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. It's just like it's a really different look. And everyone was saying how smooth they are. And it's kind of hard to do this behind the camera, but they're really smooth. Like, what you've heard about the Deca is right. It's a very smooth knife, and it's not a big knife, but it fills my hand nicely, and I like it. I don't want this to start turning into reviews of these knives, so I'm just going to hit these real quick, but like, the design caught my eye. And then I looked up reviews, and the value is there. It's American made, but it's actually not that expensive for something American made, this high quality with this nice action. Then, like, we all know how fidgety the smock is, so I mean, if you like fidget knives, you gotta get the smock. It's just fidget knife central. And the same with the Malibu. Like, I love the design, and it's a fidget knife as well, and it's American made, and it's just, you know, most of the knives I really like are American made. And then that's another thing. I don't care where it's made. Obviously, I don't want some cheap knockoff of a knife, not listing any specific area of the world that might do that more so than others, but something like a nice knife made in China is not going to make me not want to buy it. You know what I mean? Like, I like buying American made knives, but Chinese made knives are also extremely nice too. And then you got Italian made knives that are also extremely nice. So I don't care where it's made, I just don't want to buy a clone. So anyways, and then you have, like, so for example, materials. So this is titanium with carbon fiber. I really like carbon fiber. I like micarta. I like titanium. I don't mind G10. But you know, you can't beat a really nice carbon fiber. It's just beautiful. And yeah, S35VN. That's my favorite blade steel. And just look at this action on this. It's not assisted. It's just superb. But yeah, like, when I saw that, so this knife in particular, when I saw that it was titanium, carbon fiber, S35VN, I believe it hits that 4-inch and 3-inch mark that I like. I think it's like right on. It's like, that was a winner right there. I knew I had to get it. And then there's knives like the Thrill. That what drew me to this was I liked the design of it. It was nice. Yeah, look how classy that looks. But I like the engineering behind it even more. It's an integral knife. It's just one piece of aluminum milled out into this beautiful slip joint. And it's got, I can't remember the actual term of this pocket clip, but hide what you don't see, or don't want to see, something like that. But yeah, it's just hidden away until you want to pop it out. So, like, this was really interesting to me, so I knew I wanted to get that. So yeah, I don't know, hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully it wasn't too rambly. I didn't want to film a review today. I wanted something a little bit different, so I figured, why not film this video? It's been in my head for a while, so I figured now's the time to get it out there on the internet. So thanks for watching the video. Hope you made it to this far in it, and I hope it wasn't completely out there. there might not be any reason for you to watch this video. It might be completely pointless, because who cares what, right? But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Take care.